Wild horses are fascinating creatures that symbolize freedom and resilience. Here are some key points about them. Types of wild horses. 1. Mustangs, native to North America. These horses are descendants of domesticated horses brought by Europeans. They roam in herds across western U.S. rangelands and are iconic symbols of the American West. Przewalski's horse, the only true wild horse species that has never been domesticated. Przewalski's horse is native to the steppes of Central Asia. It is a smaller, stocky horse with a unique manner and is classified as endangered. Brumbies, these wild horses are found in Australia, having descended from horses brought by early European settlers. They often live in the outback, in isolated and harsh environments. Camargue horses, found in the wild in the wetlands of the Camargue region in southern France. This breed has a long history and is known for its white coat and endurance. Behavior and social structure. Wild horses are typically herd animals with strong social bonds. A herd is usually led by a dominant stallion who protects the group, especially against predators. The mares, typically the older ones, guide the herd's movements. The foals stay with the herd until they are old enough to fend for themselves. Adaptations. Wild horses have adapted to diverse environments, from deserts to grasslands. Their hooves are naturally tough and durable, making them well suited to tough terrains. They are also able to survive on limited food and water, adjusting their grazing and drinking habits to the available resources. Conservation. Many wild horse populations are at risk due to human activities. In the US, mustangs, in particular, face challenges due to overpopulation, habitat loss, and sometimes, government management practices. Conservation efforts focus on protecting these herds through sanctuaries, rewilding programs, and regulating population control measures. Historical significance of wild horses. Wild horses have a deep historical connection with various cultures and regions. 1. Native American culture. For Native American tribes, particularly those of the Great Plains, horses played a transformative role. Horses were introduced by Spanish settlers in the 16th century, and they quickly became integral to the tribe's way of life. They provided transportation, helped with hunting buffalo, and became a symbol of wealth, power, and mobility. The introduction of the horse altered Native American culture, enhancing their ability to travel, trade, and hunt. European impact. In the 16th century, when Spanish explorers brought horses to the Americas, wild herds began to form. These horses, particularly the mustangs, played a pivotal role in the development of Western America. Cowboys, or vaqueros, adopted these wild horses for cattle herding, leading to the spread of ranching culture in the American West. Military history. Wild horses, such as the mustangs, were historically used by the U.S. cavalry, especially during the American Civil War and beyond. The endurance, speed, and stamina of wild horses made them highly valuable for transportation and combat. Cultural significance. 1. Symbol of freedom and resilience. Wild horses have become symbols of freedom, embodying untamed wilderness and independence. They are often depicted in art, literature, and film as the epitome of freedom. For example, the Mustang is frequently featured in Western films and books, highlighting their association with the rugged American frontier. Conservation symbol. Wild horses have also become symbols of conservation efforts. Groups like the American Wild Horse Campaign advocate for the preservation of these animals, pushing for policies to protect their land and natural behaviors while balancing ecological concerns, such as overgrazing. Art and literature, artists and writers throughout history have depicted wild horses, especially their majestic and untamed spirit. Works like The Black Stallion by Walter Farley have captured the allure and strength of wild horses, further cementing their place in popular culture. Additionally, wild horses are often featured in Native American art, symbolizing power and connection to the land. Conservation efforts and challenges. Conservation of wild horses is a complex and often controversial issue. While they are seen as a part of natural heritage in many regions, they also pose challenges to ecosystems. Overpopulation. Wild horse populations can grow rapidly if left unchecked, leading to overgrazing, which can damage the vegetation and disrupt local ecosystems. In the US, agencies like the Bureau of Land Management, BLM, have implemented measures like roundups and fertility control to manage the numbers. Habitat loss. Human development, such as mining, agriculture, and urban sprawl, has encroached on the habitats of wild horses. This restricts the land available for grazing, contributing to the challenges of keeping the population stable. Sanctuaries and preservation programs. Some wild horse herds have been moved to sanctuaries where they are protected from roundup and relocation. For instance, the National Mustang Association supports efforts to create protected land reserves where wild horses can roam freely without overpopulation concerns. Public opinion and legislation. There is a strong divide in public opinion regarding wild horse conservation. While many believe that wild horses should be left to roam freely, others argue that their overpopulation can harm the environment. Various bills and policies have been proposed to balance their preservation with ecological concerns. The future of wild horses depends on finding a balance between preservation and sustainable management. This may include creating more wild horse reserves, expanding protected lands, and setting up sanctuaries. Using birth control. Non-lethal birth control methods are being tested to control population growth without resorting to roundups. Public education and awareness. Educating the public about the challenges and benefits of protecting wild horse populations. Creating more wild horse reserves. One of the most promising methods for preserving wild horse populations is the establishment of protected reserves where these horses can live without the pressure of overpopulation or habitat destruction. Bureau of Land Management, BLM, Herd Management Areas.I in the US, the BLM manages over 26 million acres of public lands designated as Herd Management Areas, HMAS, where wild horses roam. These areas are meant to provide safe habitats for the horses, but they are often subject to debates over land usage between wild horse advocates, ranchers, and environmentalists. Expanding such reserves could alleviate pressure on the land and allow for sustainable management practices.